The trading floor was chaos. Screens flashed red and green. Voices shouted across the room. The air smelled like sweat and burnt coffee. In the center of it all sat Marcus, eyes locked on 6 monitors, fingers moving across 3 keyboards. His heart raced, his jaw clenched. Every tick of the market sent electricity through his nervous system. He had been awake for 19 hours, his back ached, his eyes burned, but he couldn't stop. One more trade, one more position, one more chance to prove he was right. Marcus had convinced himself this was what success looked like. The intensity, the pressure, the constant battle against the market, but the truth was darker and simpler. Marcus was drowning. He had lost control months ago. Now he was just pretending, hoping no one would notice that behind the confident exterior was a man spiraling into destruction. This is the story of how a trader trapped in chaos discovered the ancient path to calm. This is about the moment when everything fell apart, and in that collapse, true wisdom was born. Marcus started trading at 23. He was brilliant with numbers, quick with patterns, fearless with risk. Within 2 years, he was managing a 7-figure account for a hedge fund. The money came fast. The praise came faster. Marcus bought a luxury apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. He wore expensive suits. He dated models. He posted pictures of his lifestyle on social media, carefully curated to project success and confidence. But behind the carefully constructed image, Marcus was unraveling. Trading had consumed him completely. He checked stock prices during dinner. He woke up at 3 in the morning to monitor Asian markets. He canceled plans with friends to watch pre-market activity. His relationships suffered. His health declined. He developed insomnia, anxiety, high blood pressure. His doctor warned him to slow down. Marcus ignored the advice. He told himself this was temporary, just one more big win, just one more successful quarter. Then he would relax, but the goalposts kept moving. Every achievement created a new standard. Every win raised the stakes higher. The breaking point came during a particularly volatile week. Marcus had taken a massive leveraged position on a tech stock. He was certain it would surge after earnings. Every indicator pointed to success. But the market doesn't care about certainty. The earnings report missed expectations by a fraction. The stock dropped 12% in after-hours trading. Marcus watched his position lose $200,000 in minutes. His hands shook, his vision tunneled. He felt his chest tighten. Was this a heart attack? He was 31 years old. He stumbled to the bathroom and stared at himself in the mirror. The face looking back was pale, hollow, unrecognizable. Dark circles under bloodshot eyes, clenched jaw, thinning hair from stress. Who had he become? This wasn't success. This was self-destruction disguised as ambition. Marcus splashed cold water on his face and made a decision. He would double down. He would recover the loss by taking an even bigger position. This is what traders do. They don't quit. They adapt. They fight back. Over the next month, Marcus threw everything at the market. Bigger positions, more leverage, riskier bets, and the market crushed him every time. Marcus lost $600,000 in 6 weeks. Half of it wasn't even his money. He had borrowed on margin, convinced he could beat the odds. Now he faced margin calls he couldn't meet. His firm launched an investigation. His bosses questioned his judgment. His colleagues whispered. The architecture of his life, built on sand and ego, was collapsing. Marcus sat in his apartment one Friday night, alone, staring at his screens. The markets had closed. The chaos had stopped. But the noise in his head was deafening. He thought about walking away, not just from trading, from everything. What was the point? He had worked himself to exhaustion for what? Money he lost as quickly as he made it. Status that evaporated the moment performance declined. the approval of people who would abandon him the second he stopped winning. Marcus felt the weight of meaninglessness pressing down on him. He had spent a decade chasing something that didn't exist, and now he had nothing to show for it except debt, exhaustion, and the realization that he didn't know who he was without the screens and the chaos. In his desperation, Marcus did something unusual. He turned off his computer. All 6 monitors went dark. The apartment fell silent. For the first time in years, there were no alerts, no price movements, no decisions to make. Just silence. Marcus sat in that silence for an hour, then 2, then 3. His mind raced at first, generating scenarios, replaying mistakes, calculating losses. But gradually, slowly, the noise began to fade. And in that fading, a small thought emerged. What if the problem wasn't the market? What if the problem was him, his approach, his mindset, his complete lack of emotional discipline? Marcus remembered something a professor had mentioned in college: Stoicism, an ancient philosophy about control and acceptance. He had dismissed it at the time as irrelevant to modern finance. But now, with nowhere else to turn, he decided to investigate. He ordered 3 books: Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, Letters from a Stoic by Seneca, and the Enchiridion by Epictetus. They arrived 2 days later. Marcus started reading. The first concept that struck him was the dichotomy of control. Epictetus taught that some things are within our power and some things are not. What is within our power? Our judgments, our intentions, our responses, our values. What is not within our power? Everything else. Market movements, other people's actions, the outcome of our trades, even our reputation. The Stoics argued that suffering comes from trying to control what we cannot control and neglecting what we can. Marcus read this passage over and over. His entire approach to trading had been backwards. He spent all his energy trying to predict and control market movements, which was impossible. He obsessed over outcomes, which were largely determined by forces beyond his influence. Meanwhile, he had completely neglected what was actually within his power: his preparation, his risk management, his emotional responses, his decision-making process. He had been trying to control the ocean while ignoring the rudder of his own ship. This realization was both devastating and liberating. Devastating because it meant years of struggle had been misdirected. Liberating because it meant there was a different path forward. Marcus began to rebuild his approach to trading from the ground up, using Stoic principles as his foundation. The first principle was to focus only on the process, never the outcome. In Stoicism, virtue lies in acting according to reason and wisdom, not in achieving a particular result. Applied to trading, this meant Marcus had to let go of his attachment to winning. He couldn't control whether a trade would be profitable. Too many variables, too much randomness, too much chaos. But he could control whether he followed his strategy with discipline. He could control whether he sized his positions appropriately. He could control whether he stuck to his risk management rules. The outcome of any single trade was an indifferent, neither good nor bad in itself. What mattered was the quality of his decision-making process. This shift was radical. For the first time, Marcus stopped judging himself by wins and losses. He started judging himself by adherence to principle. Did he follow his rules? Did he act with discipline? Did he maintain emotional control? If yes, then the trade was successful, regardless of the financial outcome. This removed 90% of the emotional turmoil from trading. The second principle Marcus applied was negative visualization, also called premeditatio malorum. The Stoics practiced imagining the worst possible outcomes in advance, not to be pessimistic, but to prepare the mind. By mentally rehearsing loss, You rob it of its power to shock and devastate you. Marcus started visualizing every trade going to zero before he placed it. He asked himself, if this position loses everything, will I be okay? Can I accept that outcome? If the answer was no, he didn't take the trade. This practice transformed his relationship with risk. He stopped taking positions that would destroy him if they failed. He sized everything so that even a total loss was manageable. This created a profound sense of calm. When a trade moved against him, he didn't panic. He had already accepted the possibility of loss. The market could do its worst, and he would survive. This was true freedom. Not the freedom to win every time, but the freedom to lose without being destroyed. The third principle was the concept of amor fati, love of fate. The Stoics taught that we should not just accept what happens, but embrace it. Every event, good or bad, is an opportunity to practice virtue and grow in wisdom. Marcus began to view losses differently. Instead of seeing them as failures, he saw them as teachers. Every losing trade contained a lesson. Every mistake revealed a gap in his process. Instead of avoiding losses or denying them, Marcus studied them carefully. What went wrong? What can I learn? How can I improve my risk management, my entry criteria, my exit strategy? Losses became valuable data, not sources of shame. This removed the emotional sting. Marcus actually became grateful for his losses because they made him a better trader. He stopped fearing the market and started respecting it as a stern but fair teacher. The fourth principle Marcus applied was the distinction between what the Stoics called preferred indifference and true goods. Money, health, reputation, these are preferred indifference. We naturally prefer to have them, but they are not the source of genuine happiness or virtue. The only true good is living according to wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. Marcus realized he had been treating money as if it were the highest good. He had sacrificed his health, his relationships, his peace of mind in pursuit of financial gain. But money is just a tool. It has no moral value in itself. What matters is how we acquire it and what we do with it. Marcus decided that he would only make money through trading that aligned with his values. No unethical shortcuts, no deception, no exploitation of others' ignorance. And he would use his wealth, whatever it amounted to, in service of virtue and contribution, not just personal consumption. This gave his work meaning beyond the numbers. He wasn't just trading to get rich. He was trading to practice excellence and self-mastery. Within 6 months of adopting these Stoic principles, Marcus's entire life changed. His trading performance improved dramatically, not because he was making bigger bets or taking more risks, but because he had eliminated the emotional chaos that had sabotaged him for years. He no longer traded out of fear or greed. He no longer doubled down on losing positions to avoid admitting he was wrong. He no longer let winning streaks inflate his ego and cloud his judgment. He simply followed his process with calm discipline, trade after trade, day after day. His equity curve became smooth and steady, climbing gradually over time without the wild swings that had characterized his early years. But more importantly, Marcus's internal state transformed. The anxiety disappeared. The insomnia ended. His health improved. He started exercising again, eating properly, sleeping 7 hours a night. He reconnected with old friends. He started dating someone who valued him for his character, not his portfolio. He felt calm in a way he had never experienced before. Marcus began sharing his Stoic trading approach with other traders who were struggling with the same issues he had faced. He started a small blog where he wrote about emotional discipline, risk management, and the Stoic principles that had saved his career and his life. The response was overwhelming. Hundreds of traders reached out, thanking him for putting into words what they had been feeling but couldn't express. They were exhausted. They were anxious. They were trapped in the same chaos Marcus had escaped. He realized that the trading industry had a massive, unspoken problem. Everyone focused on strategies, indicators, and technical analysis. Almost no one talked about the psychological and philosophical dimensions of trading, the internal game, the battle with ego and emotion. Marcus decided to dedicate himself to teaching this aspect of trading. He developed a framework he called Stoic trading, the path from chaos to calm. Here is that framework. You can apply it starting today, whether you are a trader, an investor, or simply someone trying to manage money with more wisdom and less stress. First, accept the dichotomy of control. Divide every aspect of trading into two categories: what you control and what you don't. You do not control market direction. You do not control volatility. You do not control other participants' behavior. You do not control whether any individual trade wins or loses. Stop wasting mental energy on these things. What do you control? Your preparation, your strategy, your position sizing, your risk management rules, your emotional responses, your adherence to your plan. Focus 100% of your attention and effort here. This alone will eliminate most of the chaos in your trading. Second, practice negative visualization before every trade. Before you enter a position, visualize it going to your stop loss. See the loss happening, feel it, accept it. Ask yourself, can I handle this loss? Will I be okay? If yes, proceed. If no, reduce your position size or skip the trade entirely. This practice builds resilience and removes the shock of losing. You've already lost in your mind, so losing in reality doesn't devastate you. Third, focus on process over outcome. Define your trading process clearly. What are your entry criteria? What are your exit rules? How do you size positions? How do you manage risk? Write these down. Then judge yourself solely on whether you followed your process, not on whether you made money. A trade that follows your process perfectly but loses money is a good trade. A trade that breaks your rules but makes money is a bad trade. This distinction is crucial. It shifts your focus from what you cannot control, outcomes, to what you can control, process. Fourth, implement strict risk management based on capital preservation. Never risk more than 1 or 2% of your capital on any single trade. This is non-negotiable. The Stoics valued self-preservation and prudence. They would never gamble their livelihood on a single event. Neither should you. With proper risk management, you can survive dozens of consecutive losses and still have plenty of capital to continue. This removes the fear of ruin and allows you to trade with calm confidence. Fifth, keep a Stoic trading journal. After every trade, write down not just what happened, but how you felt and whether you followed your principles. Did you act with discipline? Did you let fear or greed influence your decisions? What can you learn? This journal becomes a mirror, showing you patterns in your behavior that need correction. It accelerates your growth by forcing you to reflect instead of just reacting. Sixth, practice amor fati with your losses. When a trade goes against you, don't curse the market. Don't blame bad luck. Instead, embrace the loss as a learning opportunity. Study it. Extract the lesson. Thank the market for the education. This mindset transforms losses from sources of pain into sources of wisdom. You actually become grateful for them because they make you better. Seventh, eliminate revenge trading. This is when you take a rash position immediately after a loss, trying to get your money back quickly. This is pure ego. The Stoics taught that we should pause and reflect before acting, especially when emotions are high. If you lose a trade, step away. Take a walk, breathe, review your journal. Return to trading only when you are calm and rational. Never trade from emotion. Eighth, practice detachment from outcomes. This is perhaps the most difficult but most important principle. You must learn to genuinely not care whether any individual trade wins or loses. Your identity cannot be tied to your trading results. You are not your portfolio. You are not your win rate. You are a human being practicing the art of self-mastery through trading. The market is your training ground, not your judge. When you achieve true detachment, trading becomes almost meditative. You execute your process. You accept the outcome. You move to the next trade. No drama, no emotional swings. Just steady, calm action. Ninth, limit your exposure to market noise. The Stoics valued tranquility and warned against unnecessary disturbance. Stop watching financial news constantly. Stop scrolling through trading forums and social media. Stop listening to pundits and gurus. All of this is noise. It clouds your judgment. It triggers your emotions. It pulls you away from your process. Check your positions at scheduled times. Follow your plan. Ignore everything else. This creates a sanctuary of calm in the middle of market chaos. 10th, practice gratitude for what the market has already given you. Every morning, write down 3 things you are grateful for in your trading journey. Perhaps you're grateful you still have capital to trade. Perhaps you're grateful for a recent lesson. Perhaps you're grateful for the opportunity to practice discipline. This shifts your mindset from scarcity and fear to abundance and confidence. The Stoics practiced gratitude daily because it is one of the most powerful tools for maintaining a positive, rational state of mind. 11th, give back a portion of your trading profits. Donate to causes you believe in. Help other traders who are struggling. Share your wisdom freely. The Stoics believed in contributing to the common good. Trading can become selfish and isolating if we're not careful. Giving back keeps us connected to our values and reminds us that money is a tool, not a treasure. 12th, regularly review and refine your approach. Every quarter, step back and assess your trading. Not just the numbers, but the quality of your discipline and emotional control. Are you living according to Stoic principles? Where are you struggling? What needs to improve? Adjust as necessary. Growth is a continuous process. You will never achieve perfection, but you can always move closer to excellence. Marcus has now been trading with this Stoic approach for 5 years. His results speak for themselves. Consistent returns, low volatility, minimal drawdowns, but more impressive than the numbers is the transformation in his quality of life. Marcus is calm. He sleeps well. He has energy for relationships and hobbies. He no longer defines himself by his trading performance. When someone asks him what he does, he says, "I practice self-mastery through trading." The market is no longer his enemy or his obsession. It is his teacher, his training ground, his opportunity to live according to virtue every single day. Marcus's story is not unique. Thousands of traders have discovered that Stoicism is the missing piece in their approach. They had the technical skills, the strategies, the knowledge of markets, but they lacked the internal foundation. They lacked emotional discipline. They lacked a philosophy to guide them through the inevitable chaos and uncertainty of trading. Stoicism provides that foundation. The trading world wants you chaotic. It profits from your fear and greed. It wants you trading impulsively, chasing hot tips, following gurus, constantly buying and selling. Every transaction generates fees for someone else. Every emotional decision weakens your capital. The system benefits when you lack discipline, but Stoicism makes you strong. It makes you calm. It makes you free from the manipulation and noise. You stop being a victim of the market and become a master of yourself. This is the true edge in trading, not a secret strategy, not insider information, but self-control, the ability to act with discipline when others panic, the ability to remain calm when others chase, the ability to stick to your process when others abandon theirs. This is what separates the successful traders from the broken ones. This is the path from chaos to calm. Subscribe to Money and Stoicism to master your finances and your mind. Like this video if you seek true freedom. Now go to the comments and write one thing, the biggest source of chaos in your trading or investing life right now. Is it fear? Is it greed? Is it lack of a clear process? Is it emotional decision-making? Write it down, acknowledge it. This is the first step to addressing it. You cannot fix what you refuse to see. Be honest with yourself. Share your struggle. You will find that you are not alone. Thousands of others face the same battles. And together, through Stoic principles and mutual support, we can all move from chaos to calm. Before you leave, answer this question. Not out loud, not in the comments, just for yourself in the quiet of your own mind. If you removed all the chaos from your trading, all the emotional noise, all the fear and greed and ego, what kind of trader would you become? What would your equity curve look like? What would your life look like? Sit with that vision. That is your potential. That is what Stoicism can unlock. The path is clear. The choice is yours.